Hey everybody, Syntax77 here with another edition of SinChats, and the topic at hand today, the Sawyer Mini, or rather the fact that I may be switching from this Sawyer Mini back to the original Sawyer Squeeze. Now I have a whole tabletop review where I really compared these guys side by side, so if you want a close-up view and all the details, go ahead and check that video out, or I'll link it at the end of this video so you can check it out as well if you're interested. But what I really want to talk about today is how I've kind of been in my head mulling over the idea of getting away from the Mini here, which is 20 bucks and around 1.5 ounces, and possibly going back to the original Sawyer Squeeze, which is around $40 or $50 and around 2.5 ounces or so for just the filter. The reason I've been thinking about this is I've just really started to notice, and maybe it's just me or bad luck, or I don't know. That's why I'm making the video, to get the discussion going. So give me some feedback if you have had a similar situation. But I feel like it's gunking up and slowing down on me a lot more often than I ever had go on with the original Sawyer here. Now, I will admit that sometimes I go on trips and then I come back home and, as per the manufacturer, and, it makes sense. They say to back flush it with the good old, basically just a medical syringe there. You back flush it with that, hook it right up to it, and blow a bunch of water through it and clean it out. And if it's long-term storage, they say a couple drops of bleach to run through there as well. I'll be honest, sometimes I would do a trip, come home, then not too much longer later, or maybe sometimes longer later, I'd do another trip and be out on the trail and be like, oh, I never properly backflushed. So I will admit that. But then there's other times where I have backflushed it before, and I'm only talking 4 days max here. I've had situations where the thing slows down to a crawl. Whereas I swear with the original Sawyer, I really neglected backflushing it a lot, if ever, for several trips, and I don't remember ever having a problem going, oh my God, this thing's noticeably slower. I think I would backflush it occasionally when I got home, just out of preventative maintenance. And then maybe one time I was like, yeah, this might be slowing down, and I backflushed it, but it wasn't like killing me. Whereas with the Mini here, just to show you them both right next to each other there. The Mini here, there's times where I remember taking 2 of these on the Grafton Loop trip, and I feel like one of them might be brand new because I bought a second one. There was 4 of us, so we could have 2 in the group, and it slowed to a ridiculous dribble. And that's before I was doing gravity filter, so we were sitting there just squeezing the heck out of it. So that was a little crazy. Now, of course, it should be brought up that right out of the box, brand new, the flow rate on the Mini is going to be slower than that of the original. It's just the nature of the beast. I think the company pretty much admits that themselves. About 1 liter, or exactly 1 liter of water, I should say, will take about 2 minutes or so on the original versus around 6 minutes on the Squeeze, from the data that I have found and come up with. So that's a dramatic difference. And of course, that's probably coming into play here. You take an already slower system, you add a little bit of gunk, and it just probably slows down all that much quicker. Now, granted, I could carry, and a lot of people do, they always carry the good old syringe there with them. But honestly, if I was through hiking, yeah, I'd take this. I don't, it doesn't weigh much. It's a little big. But for a few days, I mean, I might as well just bring this if I'm gonna bring, the big old syringe just to keep this running. I think I'd rather maybe start just bringing this guy. Not a ton more weight. Now the problem is, you see how this does have the hookups already on it, right there and there. So you can put the tube on it, like I have in my kit here. And this is my little kit, 1/4-inch tube, slides right on the end of that guy. And I hook it up as a gravity filter. I showed that in Thornton Hollow video where Sarah goes hammock camping, so you can check that out if you want to see it in action. But that's what I do. I'd rather not add more volume. It's really more about volume than weight. My pack's not all that big, but I'm thinking about going back to it and just doing that. Now, like I said before I went off there, it doesn't have those hookups like it does, but for a couple bucks, I already own these for making my gravity setup and experimenting. I popped these on there. I think this was $5 or $6. You can find these on Amazon. I got mine from Dutchware because I'm shopping on there all the time anyway, and I just throw them in the cart. Look, now I'm all ready for 1/4-inch tubing. So yeah, that's kind of the thoughts that are in my head, and what I decided to talk about this week. But let me know what you're thinking. If anybody else out there has both systems, I'm kind of curious to know. Have you migrated back to the original? Have you at least thought about migrating back to the original? Or have you not had any of these problems at all? Is it just because I'm doing something wrong? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, get back to me. Let me know what you think, what your experiences were. And until next time, I'm SinTech77. Have fun out there.